camel versus a donkey, an elephant versus a rhinoceros, or a python versus an alligator. Sit back and relax today as we take you through 10 terrifying animal battles. No matter what threat or danger they face, a mom would do anything to keep her child safe. And this doesn't just apply to us humans, but also to the fiercest of animals. The proof is in this mother rhinoceros who, despite the difference in size with this huge African elephant, did not hesitate for a second to protect her little one. Indeed, while she and her baby were having fun in this mud pool, the unexpected happened. This gigantic elephant put an abrupt end to it, then a magnificent moment of complicity between mother and child by starting the hostilities. And although this elephant is several times the size of the mother rhinoceros, the fact that he threatened the life of the youngster gave her courage. So, armed with her unwavering maternal instincts, she got into a fighting stance and confronted this descendant of the mastodon. But when the little one was almost crushed by these two African behemoths in the middle of a fight, the mother decided that it was wiser to put the rivalry that has existed since the dawn of time between rhinos and elephants aside, and to keep her baby safe. And it is with great skill that she manages to get rid of the elephant's deadly tusks and flees far away with her baby. Of course, this mother would have liked to see this fight through to the end and impose her supremacy over her historical adversary, but it must be said that even among rhinos, the life of her child is much more precious than all the fights and rivalries of the world. We often hear the baboons are among the most human-like of primates, that we sometimes forget that they are wild animals and formidable hunters, which brings us to this sequence filmed in Kenya's Great Rift Valley, in which you can see this group of carefree flamingos enjoying their day in one of the region's multiple bunker lakes, keeping an eye on the sky which is full of predators like eagles and marabou. But this time, the danger comes from where they least expect it. Yes, this baboon, mainly herbivorous but feeding on almost everything from fish to small antelopes, is the dangerous predator that threatens the tranquility of his birds. As you can see, this baboon, which is fond of flamingos, runs into the lake at nearly 50 kilometers per hour. This turned the moment of relaxation of these birds into a real nightmare, during which one of them is caught and devoured by the voracious primate. Fortunately, the mourning of the flamingos lasts only a fraction of a second, and as soon as the carnivorous baboon left, they rushed back to their peaceful lakes. But this time, also keeping an eye out for potential predators on the ground. The donkeys are extremely gentle pets, therefore it is very rare to see a donkey fighting. But there are exceptions to everything, like this donkey who, even if his first intention was not to start a fight, but rather to find a friend, found himself dragged into a fierce battle. Indeed, as shown at the beginning of this sequence, this ad, who does not know much about the world yet, thought that by teasing this camel he could make a friend with whom he could have fun. An enthusiastic and friendly provocation that displeased the lonely and aggressive camel that he saw as an attack, and that in no time hastened to calm the ardor of the little Anon by planting his sharp teeth in his back to shake him aggressively before throwing him on the ground. This attack almost broke the little donkey's back, and it was especially saddening for him, who only wanted to make a friend. But at least it taught him that friendship is not forced. The black mamba is one of the most poisonous and deadly snakes in the world, with its method of hunting, which consists mainly of attacking its prey by surprise, biting them, and then withdrawing while waiting for its venom to act and finally devour them. It is almost invincible. Yes. Almost. Because this method does not work every time, like what happened with this black mamba who found himself uncovered and with no way out in front of this mongoose, which although it is puny, it is very skillful, and especially quite resistant to a certain dose of its venom. As a result, even if this black mamba put itself in an attack position by raising its head high and trying to bite its rival several times, it did not manage to destabilize it, to frighten it, and even less to flee. It is thus after a ferocious battle which lasted long minutes, during which each one of the two adversaries, redoubtable, has to take the top one on the other, that the poor black mamba succumbed following the multiple wounds that this mongoose inflicted him. And so it is this small carnivorous mammal with the appearance of a rodent that emerged from this epic battle victorious, thus reducing the black mamba. This predator feared by all into a prey that he relishes, stating a rather sad end for this snake. But this face-off that cost the life of a single black mamba is not enough to shake the reputation of all its fellow creatures, which are and will remain among the most dangerous and fearsome creatures on Earth. In combat sports, where great professional athletes face each other at the end of each match, winner and loser shake hands as a sign of mutual respect, and it is practically the same thing that happens in the animal world, with a few differences. For example, in this summit confrontation between this majestic python of 150 kilos and almost 10 meters long and this imposing alligator, the two bloodthirsty predators are fighting, as in humans, for a title. In this case, it's that of the top predator in the Everglades National Park in Florida. However, unlike us, it's not just the title that's at stake, but also their lives. That's why each of the two gigantic reptiles tries its best to get the upper hand. The python, thanks to its constriction force, and the alligator by using the power of its jaw. But after several hours of merciless battle, our two fighters realized that it was a draw and that the title of Supreme Predator of the Everglades was rightfully theirs. Of course, they had to hold each other until exhaustion, but the courage, the tenacity, and the ferocity of these two swamp warriors allowed them to push their limits and to appreciate this battle between rivals of the same level. At the end of this confrontation, even if there was no handshake between the two reptiles, the fact that the two predators retreated is probably the highest sign of respect that one could have towards the other. As much as some confrontations in the animal world exude brutality and aggressiveness, other fights drip with tenderness. Fighting and tenderness in the same sentence. Are you surprised? Certainly. But you only ask to see. Your desires are orders. Aren't they funny, touching, and above all extremely cute, these two little rabbits who fight standing on two legs with endless slaps? Now you know that even fights can be adorable, but you still have a question that bothers you and prevents you from enjoying the images of this confrontation between these two rabbits as it should be. Why on earth are these two beautiful furballs fighting? Unfortunately, I may disappoint you. I don't have the answer to that question, but you are free to imagine that a carrot started the fight, which will take the sting out of it and make you enjoy this amazing and funny fight even more. Not all animal fights are as funny and touching as the fight between the two rabbits was, and a tour guide named Chris from the South Africa's Kruger National Park is certainly not the person who will tell you otherwise. Indeed, in January 2022, while accompanying a group of tourists in a tour of the park, he pulled out all the stops and led them to the territory of the huge African elephants. It must be said that this visit was a great success. Being so close to these gigantic animals in their natural habitat more than fascinated Chris's tourists. Unfortunately, wild animals are unpredictable, so for no apparent reason, these two huge elephants, weighing 6 tons each, started fighting. And while they were beating each other with their trunks and tusks, they were flattening the big trees of the savannah as if they were only insignificant weeds, a scene that terrified our experienced guide and his tourists, and this during the 10 minutes that the fight between these two behemoths lasted. Fortunately, our guide was able to keep calm and keep his group safe until the end. And today, with hindsight, he can finally appreciate how lucky he was to have witnessed this unique and majestic fight. While we are in the Kruger National Park in South Africa, let's take the opportunity to witness another epic fight between two large predators. And this time it will be a feline confrontation between a lion and this leopard that just wanted to enjoy a little break. And even if in the jungle there is no time for relaxation and rest, this leopard still found a small corner in the shade and in height. And after checking that no danger was lurking around, he was finally able to take a nap. But his rest was short-lived, because this devious lion took advantage of his lowered guard and sneaked in like a ninja to finally jump on the sleeping leopard. However, if the lion is the king of the jungle, the leopard is the king of stealth, and so it is true that his reputation that he rolled to the side in a fraction of a second to protect his neck and back before fleeing in full speed. It remains to be seen if he'll get back to sleep anytime soon. As a child, you probably watched The Jungle Book just once and were certainly delighted by its ending, in which Mowgli, accompanied by his friend Baloo, the dinkiest bear, gives a beating to their sworn enemy, the evil Bengal tiger Shere Khan. But what about in real life? Well, as uniquely as it may seem to you, the final scene of The Jungle Book took place in real life in Tadoba National Park, India. And just like in the Disney classic, it's that Bengal tiger, the villain of the story, because he wanted to take over that watering hole. So when this bear came to cool off too, the tiger savagely attacked him. But this honey-loving giant did not let himself be intimidated, and although the feline had the upper hand in the beginning of the fight, the bear ended up dominating him by inflicting several wounds and bites. And like Shere Khan, this tiger too ended up running away, wounded, bloodied, and weakened. Now that you know the outcome of the actual fight between Shere Khan and Baloo, it makes you sad more than anything else. But what do you expect? Reality is much more brutal and harder to take than fiction. Lions are the kings of the jungle. This statement is not entirely true, or at least questionable. How is this possible? Well, get ready, because the images I'm about to show you are going to shake up any preconceived notions you may have about the hierarchy of the animal kingdom. You are not dreaming. It is indeed a lioness who is savagely bitten by a hyena. And yes, it is her booty that she is forced to share with this greedy pack of jackals and hyenas under the astonished eyes of the buffaloes. You still can't believe it, but at least now you know that even if they are outnumbered, the lions are not unbeatable. So it's up to you to learn from them and surround yourself with good people who are willing to defend you. These were 10 terrifying animal battles. Tell us in the comments which one surprised you the most. And if you like this video, don't forget to give it a blue thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the bell to get all the notifications and not miss out on any of our upcoming content.